It's finally time for that big adventure, brother. I'm talking road trip to the motherfucking promised land. The NYC.
We're not taking my sister's car, man. He will kill us.
Your sister's in jail. She'll never know.
This isn't necessarily like gotcha in the traditional sense. I feel like we're showing a lot of people at their best, like these unsuspecting people, just showing them that they can be compassionate and like kind of let things roll off their shoulders a little bit. And I really love that about this movie. And I wondered, I mean, was that always the hope, or is that kind of something that just came naturally as you started doing these and you captured people reacting this way?
It was a little bit of both. It was like the early pranks that we were writing were more like Eric Andre show style, where they were like completely insane, criminally insane, and like a movie is a different medium than an 11-minute Adult Swim show. A movie, to get an audience across 90 minutes of footage, your character has to be likable. your leads have to be, you have to empathize and sympathize with the leads. So once we started writing the pranks so that Chris and Bud were more sympathetic and more, followed the principles of a movie versus an Adult Swim late night thing, then organically, because the pranks featured us in a more sympathetic role, then you got more sympathetic reactions out of people, and and when the movie shows the Good Samaritan nature in people in an interesting way.
Going into this, did you have a sense of what you'd be getting yourself into in terms of pranks or whatnot, or were you just like, whatever Eric wants me to do, I'll do it?
No, I think I thought one thing, and the first day happened, and the first day is when we almost got murdered, right? So when that happens the first day, it was like, I remember calling my whole team. I called Tiffany. I'm afraid for my life. I'm an actor. That's the first time I ever called myself an actor. Like, dude, I am an actor.
Well, so you know what happened, Cheats? Do you know the story?
I know a little bit, but is this the knife with the
dick
Chinese
trap? Yeah. So
tell me,
like, me and Rel are in the dick trap. Me and Rel are in the dick trap. We go to this like hood ass barbershop in Atlanta. We went in. We were like, "Excuse me, sir, do you have any scissors to cut our penises out of this Chinese finger trap?" And his barber had like murder rage in an instant. It was like veins in his eyeball. It was like a cartoon. He was like, I don't know, like the cartoon wolf or Wile E. Coyote or something. And he goes, "Oh hell no!" And he went to grab his gun. He told us later he forgot his gun at home, so he grabbed a knife and he chased us out. And me and Rel can barely walk in that dick trap contraption, let alone run. So me and Rel are like, whoa, 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 whoa. The thing snapped. Rel like fell on the ground, rolled into a parked car. I'm like, we had a safe word on set where I would go popcorn if shit got too hairy, but I always get nervous and forget it. So I was going goosebumps, 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 and my crew's back across the street. And then we had the security guy. He looked like Blade. He looked like Wesley Snipes in Blade. He jumped out of nowhere and like disarmed the guy. It was a fucking mess. That was Rel's first day filming hidden camera pranks. So Rel was like, "I quit. You're gonna get me fucking killed. This is reckless and dangerous."
Walked back to the hotel. I still have my shit on. I just left. Like,
you threw your live in a garbage.
It looked like my dick was out walking down.
So, Rel, what convinced you then to stick with it? I mean, maybe you were signed into a contract or something, but I don't know what it takes to stick around.
Well, that's interesting you say that too. Honestly, I don't think I've ever said this. It might have been my fucking kid, right? Because I called them more or less like, "Yeah, I might die doing this movie. I love you." And I was telling them what happened because I tell them everything. But they thought it was funny. And they actually the ones that kind of convinced me to not. I mean, Eric called me, but because I was so mad. But the kids was like, "It sounds like it's fun."
You were still so mad. You were like, "Listen, I got kids." I remember you sitting in this chair and you were steaming. You were just like, "Listen, you can't get me killed. Like that's I'm not being unreasonable here. Like I want to live."
He called me a snitch. That's what he was. He's like, "Yo, you're a fucking girl. You're a snitch." And we were like, "Yeah, because I called my team, motherfucker." Yes, he snitched.
Can we talk logistics of the dick trap then? What are you guys? Are you wearing harnesses that are connected? Like what is on you
Yeah, it's like
to do
a cod
this?
piece. It's a prosthetic, so it's like a cod piece with like two stretchy dick. We couldn't like stretch our real dicks for all hours of the day. We wanted to make it look as painful and crazy as possible. So we have like a special effects, practical effect, like a prosthetic, like a stretch Armstrong dick, but it would like break all the time, and like it would just be like one of our dicks hanging out. It looked really bad.
Well, I was gonna
up all over the place.
How easy was it to detach? If like with the knife, was it easy for you guys to like get out of it? Then it seems like
the knife was a murder weapon. He wasn't using the knife to get us out. He was chasing us with a knife to like Mike Myers in Halloween, like stab us.
We did a thing. What did we do to get out of it? Was it a knife or a stick? We got
in
out
the fiction of the movie or in real life?
the movie, the restaurant.
I think it was chopsticks. Yeah.
Chopsticks. But in real life, the thing was breaking all the fucking time. And it had like a weird rope out the center of one of the dick holes. It looked really like it was more offensive when it broke than when it was working. We didn't even show this in the movie. We went into the Chinese restaurant twice. The second time, this guy stood up from the table and like did this like judo chop, like old man G.I. Joe karate on my neck, and like lifted me up and threw me out. And I thought it was hilarious, but whenever we screened it, it didn't get a laugh. I think it was just too violent. Sometimes when it's too violent, people just don't laugh. They're just like, shit. And we wanted to end it on a high note, so we just have like Rel putting his dick out in this woman's water that she offered him. You know, she took care of him.
The unsuspecting bystander, like that's always a factor. Like you don't know how people are going to react, but I feel like you guys kicked it up a notch when you went to the Electric Cowboy, because not only do we have these unsuspecting people, but we have like drunk people. And I wondered how that changed things. Was there more going on that we didn't see? Were people reacting ridiculously?
No, Eric, the guy that wanted to fight you at the smaller part of the bar when we was at the food table.
Oh yeah,
he takes a shot as if like, well, here we go. You know?
Yeah. So it turned out that guy owned like a chain of strip clubs or something. He was like dressed like a Russian mobster. He had like an Adidas tracksuit on, and he was trouble. Like we saw him come in the bar, and everyone's like, "You got your A Star Is Born. You got your next victim." And he sat down and he was like loud and talking shit. And it was like, he was, I could just tell he was trouble in the best way. So I had this pee gag. So I'm like peeing, I'm urinating all over the bar because I'm drunk. And I'm urinating right by his shoes. And he looks at me, he's like, I don't care where you piss, but get your piss the fuck away from me. And I was like, wait, you mean right here? And I'm trying to like pee in between his shoes. And he goes, that's it. And he cracked his neck and took a shot at Jim Beam. And I was like, oh, I'm getting punched. And he was just like, and I was going, goosebumps, popcorn. I'm yelling my safe word. And then finally the crew jumped up and stopped him. And he thought like he was getting jumped by the crew. He was like, he was ready to knock 4 guys out. Anything that's a decent reaction we use. So we didn't, I mean, unless the prank didn't fit into the movie, but if it's in a scene that's in the movie, and we're gonna release a bunch of like outtakes and like scenes that didn't make the final cut of the movie, but were really funny on their own, we're gonna release a bunch of that stuff. So maybe that almost like answers your question in a way. Like some great. We have a prank with Chris Rock. We did this like exorcism prank in a motel with a real preacher. We're gonna release all that stuff. So.
Cool.
You'll see it all. Every part of the buffalo.
Can we talk about the gorilla stunt, the zoo? I'm really curious about that one because I feel like when you put somebody in a gorilla suit, like the suspension of disbelief there, I don't know, you have to, there's a lot of logistics, I feel like, to make it so that people buy that this is an actual gorilla. Yeah,
we shot that prank. That was one of the first things we shot, and I had the same. I was like, I don't know if people are going to buy this or it will work. But the only thing I was going off of was in one of the jackasses, Bam and Chris Pontius scare Bam's mom with a gorilla suit. That looked about the same as the one that we had access to. So I was like, look, if Bam's mom, who's gotten pranked for 20 years, buys it, we can get some moms. I think moms are like tired and they're like, he's like, I was like, if this was my mom, would she buy it? I was like, I think she would. So we just, we preyed on moms. We preyed on moms because they're kind of tired and they're like, oh shit. They're like, wait a minute.
But that's what made it work too, is that while that's happening, I had to make sure that, like, I made them believe, like, we all had, like, I had to make sure, like, yo, this is crazy, the emotion part of it, because they bought into it, man. Like, that's one of the only times I tried not to laugh. Their reaction so real and so crazy. I was like, in my head, I was dying. Man. So, like, it looked like I'm crying, but, like, I'm really crying laughing.
That's exactly right. Rel's on the outside gassing them up. So anytime they were like, I don't know, this is fishy, he'd be like, oh my God, my best friend, help, somebody help. And then they'd be like, oh shit, is this real? So it's like, we're like, Rel and I are like ping-ponging emotions back and forth to like gas up the scene and gas each other up. So
I mean, yeah, Rel, in that one, you're basically a plant in the audience. You're just like,
we did do it twice, and the second time it didn't work. The second time they didn't buy it. So that group is all the first group. Just like we lucked out, like the kickoff, and that was one of the biggest pranks we did at that time. It was like the first week of shooting, I think. The kickoff group was the best group, which is, it's usually the opposite. You're usually like the first group, because you do each one of these pranks like 1, 2, or 3 times to mine the best reactions. So yes, so yeah, the second group actually didn't buy it, or they bought it for like a second and they all started laughing, and one person starts laughing, and then 3, and then it kind of spread. So we got lucky that first group bought into it so much. They were in shock. This one woman was like, oh, I need my heart medication afterwards.
Speaking of people buying into it, I also wanted to talk about Jackie at the restaurant. She's the woman that kind of stokes things when Tiffany comes in and then you guys come in. I mean, she's amazing. I was like, bring her back. I want to see more of her. She's just someone, we just lucked out with her, right?
We just lucked out. What you don't see in the edit is that, like, just to like gas up the crowd, like Rel and I went back into that restaurant like 3 or 4 times, like just to like get people riled up. We were like, wait, are you sure you haven't seen Tiffany? And they're like, get the fuck out of here, because like by the first time people were coming around, but by the 4th time they're like, why do you guys keep coming in here and asking us the same question over and over again? So like we would like, and then in the edit it looks like we just went like back and forth like once or twice, but it's to get the reaction, because we never fake a single reactions. We got to get the reactions organically.
Are there instances where you guys were getting recognized? I mean, I wonder how often that happened. I feel like we're strategically filming in certain places so that maybe people are less likely to know it's you, but I don't know, where they're like, wait, I know who you are, you look familiar, I've seen you in this.
Yeah, we had it down to a science. Basically, like, we would make sure that we were pranking people over 40. I mean, that goes a long way. Like most of Rel's
Moms.
fans and most of my fans are like skew younger, but you know, we get busted every once in a while. Like on the way in the zoo, this one woman like turned, she goes, you look like Lil Rel Howery. And Rel was like, oh yeah, I get that all the time. And then he just threw her off the set, and he was like, wow, look, a lemur or whatever. So like you could also throw people off the stench or whatever the expression is. And then also we just had little code words, like what if I saw like a skateboarder coming my way, or like a college kid, somebody that would recognize me, I have a little hidden lav mic, and I would just talk to the director or the crew. I'd be like, Phyllis was the code word. Would be like, oh, I see my friend Phyllis in the green shirt. And I would turn away, and then a PA or my stunt coordinator would come out and like intercept the kid before he entered frame and be like, hey, you know what we're doing here? And the kid be all excited. He'd be like, so why don't you just like hang back? And we would just like seduce the person away so that they wouldn't ruin the prank. And then like at the end of the day, if somebody jumped in and ruined something, like you could always kind of pause, wait for them to exit, do the prank again. We're doing every prank almost like 3 times each.
I'm really curious about how you pull off the roof dangling, because I imagine there's got to be some sort of harness, Eric, that you're in, but yeah. How did that work out?
That wasn't actually too hard. So we had a taco truck, and we shot that in Atlanta, and we like put all over Craigslist and all these like websites like free tacos. This is a new taco company. We're giving away like free food. So we got a bunch of people to go to the taco truck and face away. Like, so as soon as they started ordering, they're all facing the taco truck. Meanwhile, Tiffany and I are on the roof. I'm in a harness with a like hidden rope, basically, behind me. And then I like snuck, as they're all ordering tacos, I quietly snuck off the roof, then hung, and then like Tiffany's like mimicking, like she's just like holding me. And then as soon as we're in position, which only took like 10 seconds, we had to make it quick, I yelled, "Help!" And so everybody turns around, and it's like this shocking, jarring thing. So yeah, free tacos. That was really it. Free tacos.
I mean, yeah, that works. So I'm learning the secrets to this. It's like offer free shit, get moms. Like that's how you pull all this off.
Pretty much. That's pretty much it.
Oh, and in that scene, there's a megaphone that shows up. That was from your team?
Yeah, we had like our locations guy dressed like a construction worker, and we were like, dude, just pass off a megaphone like Samuel L. Jackson's Negotiator movie. Like, just pass it off and then like exit out of frame. We never want to like fake a reaction or fake like even put plants in. So like you don't even see his face. You just like feel his like neck and his shoulder entering frame like this, and then he's out. You know what I mean? Because we don't want you to like think like, wait a minute, who's an actor, who's being pranked. We only want to feature the people who are being pranked. So we just like slid him in, like handing off a microphone, and got him out of there.
And Rel, knowing that you had a knife pulled on you and all this, would you come back for Bad Trip 2?
Act like my like my Zoom stop.
I think we aged Rel like 10 years.
Help! Like y'all looking at, mind your goddamn business. I'm from the street.
People from the street don't hang people from roof.